Alrighty, what's going on, everybody? I'll share my screen in just 1 second, real fast. I just wanted to do a weekly mindset call in the DeFi space. It's not always about, making money. It's not always about what pools we're in and this, and that. Obviously, of course, that stuff's important, but we have to establish and develop the proper mindset and understand the mindset of other individuals in order for us to be successful within our own psychological investing and trading career to grow as individuals. So I'm just going to cover that first. I'm going to talk about three types of individuals in this space so you can kind of really figure out what type of person you are. And I think I don't want it to seem like I'm attacking anybody, but this is what I've seen via the last couple of years that I've been a mentor in this space. And then we're going to get into two types of individuals. Since this is a DeFi call, we're going to give an example. I'm going to show you guys a compound interest calculator. Now, obviously, of course, when we're taking into consideration and we look in the compound interest calculator, there are going to be some factors at play. Like, for example, the environment that I'm going to create for the compound interest calculator is obviously, of course, going to fluctuate in a real world environment. So you can't base what I'm going to say 100% off of the compound calculator, but it's just to give you an idea of what one with very small amounts of capital can do when they take advantage of DeFi. Okay. So we'll get into that and then we'll wrap up the call and I'll let you guys go for the weekend. Okay. So first, let's just talk about the three types of individuals in this market. And the reason why I'm reading this to you all is because midweek, I put this post out to you guys in the chat, which seemed to get some positive feedback, where I said to you all, good morning, team. I've been a mentor now for almost 4 years. And the biggest hurdle that I see is people not having the right mindset implemented into their strategies to be successful in this market. I said to you all, far too often individuals limit themselves by believing that they are just average or not good enough. This self-doubt becomes a barrier to success, especially in the realm of investing and wealth accumulation. Many aspiring investors enter the market with the noble goal of achieving wealth, yet they approach it with the mindset of mediocrity. They play it safe, sticking to what they know, never daring to venture beyond their comfort zone. But here's the truth. To attain wealth, you must shatter the chains of mediocrity and embrace greatness. I know that sounds super fairy tale, but it's the freaking truth. And I'm going to show you that when we talk about the three individual market participants in this space. All right. So again, I'm not going to sit here and bore you guys to death. Go take it upon yourself and just read through this real fast. Got 11 little fire emojis and two, strong emojis. So I thought that you guys liked this one, which was great to see. I'm going to try to give you guys more motivational content throughout the week. Just sitting down and taking some time to write these messages to you all. I hope you all like them and enjoy them. So let's just talk about the three types of individuals. Okay. Especially in DeFi, we already know we're such a tight group of individuals in crypto, very small percentage of the population. And then you take that percentage of the crypto population and you put us into a category like DeFi, and it's even a smaller amount of people. Okay. So we're just going to really focus in on DeFi for this example. But you have three types of individuals. Okay. You got the first type of individual, which is the type of individual I think that I am and am continuously seeking to be, which is an individual, an opportunistic individual that is hungry, that is taking advantage of opportunities, that is willing and ready to implement my capital and expose myself to risk under a sound educational backing, reading documents, researching projects, looking in to see if DEXs are audited, so on and so forth, and actually building a strategy around DeFi, aiming to be successful in this space, right? Not just being fearful or timid and scared. All right. So that's the first type of individual. All right. Again, you're willing to accept and take on the risk, but it's not an uneducated risk. It is an educated risk based off of your own risk assessment. And for me, I mentioned to you guys that base was $10,000. I put $10,000 into this market. My DeFi portfolio is it's like 24 grand or something right now, maybe 22 grand, depending on the day. Right. And I'm willing to take on that risk. I have a multi-six-figure crypto portfolio that's well above 200,000 right now. And then I have an artificial intelligence and digital identity portfolio, which is completely separate from that one. So again, just showing you guys how I'm building this in the actual ins and outs. Then you have the second individual, okay? You have the individual that thinks they're like the first individual, but in reality, they're just a hype chaser. They're just an individual that's here for quick fixes. They're not really here for the technological transformation that's happening. For example, the individuals that hold XRP, they have Uphold downloaded on their phone, they have a cold storage wallet, they have XRP, and they think that 5 years from now, they're going to become financially free and successful, not doing any due diligence, to research the transformation that's happening, to learn how to grow their bags in the now, to be liquidity providers, to actually expand their wealth by using the market's money and not their hard-earned money. And again, they're still involved in the same amount of risk that the first person is involved in, but they're increasing their risk even more because they're not really researching the opportunities and where you could expand and grow your wealth and so on and so forth. So you have two opportunistic individuals, but the first person does their research, does the due diligence, and assesses their risk properly. The second person is just fixating on a lottery fix mindset, right? They're involved in crypto, but they think they're going to get rich quick or over a long period of time just by simply holding these digital assets. Great, cool. So be it. Then you have the third person, okay? The third person is the timid individual. The individuals that like, oh, what about impermanent loss? What about bugs in the smart contract? What about regulations? Oh, I don't want to put my capital into this. The people that are sidelined due to fear and lack of education. Okay. So what person are you? What person are you? Are you the first person, which the vast majority of us here at CYPRX are? Are you the middle person that is willing and able to take on the risk, but doesn't really and hasn't really put in the educational elbow grease that it takes to actually make money in this market consistently, is just hoping for money consistently, but still actively participating? Or are you the third type of person, which I don't think any of you are? You're timid, you're scared, you're not ready to get involved, you're not ready or don't have any capital to implement into this space. And you're like, no, this is a scam. I don't want to be a part of it. Clearly, you guys being here, you're not that third person. But there are people like that that exist outside of this community. And that's due to lack of education and fear of not knowing the possibility that you can achieve in this space. Okay. So I just wanted to cover that real quick, really dial in and understand who you are. And if either of those three categories of people, you're somebody else completely, then DM me and message me so I can add another type of person to the list, because I feel like to some degree, to some extent, if we categorized those three types of people, you would most likely fall in line with one of those types of people, right? If there's a fourth or fifth person or sixth person I need to add to that list and so on and so forth, but we're not here to play a gender role. I'm just trying to narrow things down for you guys. Okay. Um, okay. So now let's buckle that down to two individuals that come into this space, the first two individuals that come into the space, and they both come into the space with $1,000. Okay. Remember, the second individual is the person that's just buying XRP. And I'm just going to use XRP as an example. It could be any digital asset, but just for the sake and the fluidity of this conversation, I'm going to use XRP as an example. As a matter of fact, I'm going to use XRP as an example, but I'm going to use the Aerodrome DEX as our example because that's the DEX that I'm currently involved in. Okay. So we have two people and they both have $1,000. Small portfolio to start out with, $1,000 initially to start out with. Okay. The first person at the beginning of the year on January 1st, assuming, remember I talked to you guys about the beginning of this video, there's some things that we're going to tweak. And again, in the real life example, these could all change. We're going to assume that for the remainder of this year, XRP does not increase above $1. Okay. That's one thing we're going to assume. The second thing we're going to assume to create a level of equalness in both of these individual scenarios is that the APR that they're making on the Aerodrome DEX for the position that they're providing liquidity for stays consistent at 400% the entire year. Yes, obviously, of course, that's going to throttle up, that's going to throttle down. For this example, we're just going to pretend to actually show you all the possibility and the difference between the two. We're just going to assume it stays the same at 400% all year. Okay. So those are the only two things that we really need to tweak here. Okay. For this scenario. So first person, January 1st, buys XRP, puts it in a cold storage wallet and does absolutely nothing with that XRP, sits on it. By the end of the year, give or take a price increase to 75 cents or 94 cents or whatever. Okay. They'll have a little tiny price appreciation. Cool. With the high hopes 5 years from now, or whatever your time horizon is, that money is going to be worth more, $1,000, $100, whatever your price target for XRP is. Then you have an individual that has $1,000, and instead of buying XRP outright flat on January 1st, they go and they put $1,000 into a liquidity pool on Aerodrome. And on that Aerodrome liquidity pool that they're providing liquidity for, they earn a constant APR of 400%. And with the money that they make per month, okay, per month, they take that money and they buy XRP with it. So every single month, the first month on 400% APR, they're going to make about $333. The first month, they go and they take that money and they buy XRP. The second month, they do the same thing. They make $333. They don't need, this isn't even snowballing. This isn't even if they put that money back into the liquidity pool. Okay. This is just if they bought XRP the entirety of the year, assuming that it doesn't go over $1 in price. Okay. Which for the past, what, I don't know, 3 years, right? Maybe longer. I'm not looking at the charts right now. It is done. So we're just going to assume that it stays that way for this scenario. The second month, they will be putting in another $333 into XRP. Total capital initially invested into XRP now they've put in is $666. The next month, the third month, they do the same thing. Okay. Who in this scenario is going to end up with more XRP as long as the variables that I mentioned at the beginning, which is the APR stays the same and XRP remains below $1, who's going to have more XRP at the end of the year? It's obvious that the person that provides liquidity to an aerodrome DEX and uses the market's money, because keep in mind, both initially deposited $1,000 into the market. The first person decided to buy XRP. The second person decided to use that liquidity to provide liquidity for a trading pair that has nothing to do with XRP, and then use the fees and emissions that they're earning in aerodrome to transfer that to a hot wallet, to a centralized exchange, to then take that crypto and buy XRP with it. Who's going to have more money in XRP at the end of the year? It's going to be the person that uses their capital efficiently and effectively to build a portfolio properly. Okay. It's not going to be the person that just hodls and does nothing with their assets. Okay. Now let's add into the equation compound. So that means every single month, instead of going out and buying XRP, that individual at the beginning of the year, again, taking into consideration that on January 1st, XRP remains $1, give or take, it could fluctuate to 74 cents. Who cares? It could go down to 40 cents. Who cares? Just the idea that it remains below $1 needs to remain the same. At the end of the year, they take all the capital that they made collective from compounding their account. I'm going to show you, and they buy XRP with one full swing, no matter if it's at 94 cents or if it's at 44 cents or if it's at 50 cents. They take all the capital that they made in the aerodrome pool and they buy XRP in one lump sum on December 31st at the end of the year. Look at this. Okay. So again, now we're going to implement the compound effect. The first month, you'd be making $333 on 400% interest on $1,000 initial deposit. You'd be making $333. Okay. You take that $333 and you put that back into the pool the next month. Now your pool value is worth $1,666. Again, this is assuming that the value of the pool remains the same in all these variables. Again, this is just a general overview to give you a perspective of what you could possibly accomplish. The next month, you're then earning $888. You don't do anything. You don't buy XRP yet. Okay. You put that back into the pool and you continue to do that the entirety of the year. By the end of the year, look at how much money in one lump sum on December 31st you're going to be buying XRP with. Okay. Look at these numbers. In one lump sum, you're buying this amount of XRP. So again, who cares if it's 94 cents? Who cares if it's 54 cents? You are, if you decide to take this method, because there was another method that I mentioned, which is not re-implementing the capital and just taking the $333 every single year, or sorry, excuse me, every single month and putting that into XRP instead of compounding it. That was the first scenario. This scenario, we're actually compounding the money. You take that money at the end of the year and you buy one lump sum of XRP. Again, in both scenarios, the person that participated in DeFi in some way, shape, or form under the variables and under the circumstances that this doesn't get regulated out of, again, all those naysayers that are going to throw what if scenarios. Let's just pretend that those don't exist, which they do. Don't get me wrong. But I'm just trying to show you all that the people that take advantage of this DeFi opportunity will come out more so on top than the people that don't. Okay. That's my goal here. Again, these variables are going to change, and the constants in these variables that I just mentioned are not going to remain the same. The APRs are going to fluctuate. But again, why I'm teaching you all the strategy that I'm partaking in is you can combat against these variables that fluctuate. For example, let's say there's a what if person and it's like, well, what if the APR throttles down to 100% and all these numbers change? Okay, cool. Well, remember, just like in trading, I've set up a list of confluences for myself in my liquidity pools, where if any liquidity pool that I'm involved in throttles down below 200% APR, I move my assets. I transfer into another liquidity pool because my goal right now is to use the market's money to buy long-term bags. Now, I have not done that yet, okay? Meaning that some of the money that I'm making from DeFi, yes, I bought crypto with, but the vast majority of the money that I'm making from DeFi, I'm attempting to hurry up and compound that into $50,000. Once I have that initial $50,000 portfolio threshold in DeFi, I'll be making 10 to 14 grand per month. Then every single month, I will take that 10 to 14 grand and put that into crypto. I don't care if XRP in 6 to 7 months from now, when this happens, because I will reach $50,000 hopefully by the end of this year. I'm expecting to do it before the end of this year, but we'll see. Again, I can't predict market predictions. This is just my confidence. Then I will take that money, that $10,000, and dollar cost average into projects. Maybe XRP moons and it goes to $5. Okay, cool. So what? Then I will do due diligence and I will buy into other positions. There's always going to be opportunities. So right now I'm laying the foundation for myself to always have liquid capital to capitalize on opportunities within the market, right? Once I've laid the foundation and I'm making $10,000 per month in the market, I can do whatever I want with the $10,000 because it's not my money at that point. The 50,000, the only money that I have involved in this market so far is the initial 10 grand. Other than that, I'm making money off of other people trading these assets and putting that back into the market. You see what I'm saying? So when my portfolio was 50 grand, really the only risk in my mind is the initial $10,000, because the other $40,000 that built my portfolio up to 50 grand is all the market's money. It's all the market paying me these fees and so on and so forth and snowballing that into an account. You see what I'm saying? So this mindset, this timid, I'm not going to get involved and capitalize on opportunity mindset is going to get you nowhere. Assess your risk, your initial risk deposit, which for some people might be 100 grand. For some people it might be $200,000. For some people it might be 100. That's not the point. The point is there is this opportunity for every individual, no matter what your capital size is, to scale and grow. For me, to prove a point, to show you guys that somebody with $10,000+ of liquid capital can expand that in a course of a certain period of time. For me, $10,000 was it, right? $10,000 is like, okay, been learning about DeFi for a year, confident, made money from it, but now I want to grow that and accelerate it and show my community how you can build a portfolio and snowball it into whatever size you want. If I was sitting here saying to you guys, I want to do it, I want to do $100,000 in a year, guarantee you I could. I would find a way. I would have to tweak my strategy. It would be a lot more risk on, where I would be in meme coin plays. I would be in plays that are earning me thousands of percentages. I know that I would be able to do it, right? So I set myself established goals. I know the stepping stones in which I need to achieve to get to those goals and achieve them. And I've created and curated a strategy that I'm going to stick to, a plan. And if my portfolio deviates from that plan, or I see the market move or transition, I'm going to react to that and change things in my portfolio to stick to my plan and stick to my goal. So again, I'm the first person in the 3 people scenario. I'm the second person in the second scenario that I ran for you guys. Okay. So I hope that me breaking this down for you guys starts to get you to see and formulate an idea of who you are, who you now understand you need to become. Again, we're not all the same. We all have different priorities. We have different goals. We have different capital allocations and settings and so forth, all these settings that can be tweaked. But at the end of the day, we're all here to make money. And if you want to make money, you can, but you have to be strategic about it. You have to be aggressive. You have to be educated. You have to assess your risk, and you have to build a strategy. Okay. So I wanted to get that off my chest. I just wanted to show you the possibilities. Again, remember, give or take some slight fluctuations in these numbers. I just wanted to prove a point that the person, under the conditions, the variables remain constant throughout the entirety of the year, which for the past 3 years they have been. XRP has not been above $1, so on and so forth, or maybe it has once or twice, whatever. You get what I'm saying, though. $57,000 of initial capital allocated into XRP, regardless if it's 94 cents or 54 cents at the end of a year, is much more than $1,000 at the beginning of the year. And that's the bottom line. Okay. Now, again, you're going to have those individuals that are going to play the what if game. Well, what if XRP goes to $5 and then what? Okay, cool. That's why I combated that mindset with, okay, great. So what? XRP moons without you. There's you now have $50,000 of liquid capital that you created from thin air that you can do other things with, right? You can dollar cost average into other positions. You can take that money and just keep snowballing it back into DeFi. You're not missing out on any opportunities. Keep in mind, this is completely separate from my bull run bags. Did I talk about the 120,000 units of XRP that I have? So I didn't miss out on the bull run. If XRP moves to $5, cool, great. My 120,000 units that I left in my cold storage that I did not involve in the DeFi space gets to see that price appreciation. Okay. The initial $10,000 or $1,000, whatever that I started with, doesn't get to see the price appreciation of XRP. But at the end of the year, I still have $57,000 or whatever dollars I have because I involved myself in DeFi, which is much more than the person that doesn't. And that's my point. Okay. So, anyways, little kind of mindset call real fast. I didn't really get to sit down and type out a fundamental report for you guys. Usually on Fridays, it's going to be that way because I'm getting ready for my call on the X Space with Mr. Man and Mr. Aquaman. Phenomenal research throughout the entirety of this week was delivered to you guys. Really great opportunities in the CYPRX community. Don't forget, I don't know if I typed out a message to you all, but we're going to be doing 2 monthly giveaways for Wealth 28 Club members. Every single month towards the end of the month, the last weekend of the month, I'm just going to be put everybody's names in a spin the wheel thing. Click it, 2 spin the wheels per month at the end of the month, and I'll be sending you guys crypto. I'm gonna be doing it through my DeFi just to show you guys that it's DeFi, presenting this opportunity for you guys to motivate individuals more to see that $28 per month is not a freaking lot of money. It's not a lot compared to how much my DeFi portfolio is going to grow. Other people's DeFi portfolios are going to grow over time. And we're going to be at the forefront of all that innovation. So I thought that I'd come on here, give you guys a little bit of a mindset spiel. Everybody have a good weekend. I'm going to stop the recording and leave the floor open for quick questions. I got like 5 or 10 more minutes before I hop off here.